That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why that whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause. And once it has finished consuming all of the...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontainians out of Oceanid...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontainians nigh. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a pack...
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case...
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying... From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy,
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could...
That's not... We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just...
Indeed. That's not how a grand...
I'll fight it to the end. No matter...
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, ultimately, fate shall serve as your own...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina!
No, I still need answers.
Бля. Я это обрежу с кем-то.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not Farina. Who...
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success.
Fosolo. Why did...
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness no, the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria. She knew full well that the prophecy would end as one of the seven. She also knew full well that one defies the heavenly... So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy... I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria... Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one...
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in any way, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actor under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to... Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is...
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any... I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, it's been 500 years, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and
Take it easy.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontainians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility. Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards! Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Farina. Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How?
Mirror you, huh? You know what?
Mirror me?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? Wait. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon.
Oh.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like...
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist and I will tell you how to save everyone. But you may have to suffer.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. As for the suffering, well, I will admit, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other. Is it not obvious?
You truly are. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just
Play as...
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy.
But how will I do this? A human
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into being a human yourself. I'm sure you already know what. Remember, your true challenge will not...
I'm still not sure I understand. So, how long am I
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, but I promise you, all will eventually end.
A trial? Huh. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. What should I say to most appear like a god?
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro-Archon. Indeed, in truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to, as the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do once again. Thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the maze. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was
That's the new Hydro-Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's...
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison back.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role. Calm down, Farina. Think. Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. What? Oh, now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership. Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were...
Her personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they... No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese. So long as I stand before...
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for...
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House? Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking...
if I may be so impertinent, what...
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous...
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now to...
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for...
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of... Oh, I'm afraid. All right. Deuteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please...
You're such a gentle...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of,
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this, but all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying...
Really? Have they found any?
I'm afraid that they haven't found...
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. The day is finally over. But it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going. All right, Farina, don't...
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a...
There'll be no need for that.
Lady Farina, I've waited...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near...
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed. I don't think I just don't... I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deuteria, almost 20 generations.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. What is it?
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of...
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps I never imagined. But have I reached my limit? I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. I've conducted so many investigations across the set. All I can do is keep heart. I must meet.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. You're...
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still just share it with me.
A witness. Yes, I've heard that you, and if Tevat is in its entirety a show on a stage, if she's right, I could confide in her, couldn't? But if things don't play out as expected, no, Farina, you shouldn't. But what if, Farina? You've worked so hard for... Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find... If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, think about it. Long and hard. No. I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtain.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly... She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, it seems that trusting humanity...
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But that is... How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the... I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within... It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacked. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the... But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power. The vast majority had to be accumulated.
It was all a part of your plan, then? Both...
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne. Shaking...
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
No, what? Getting sad again. The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice...
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at... Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge that Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principle stole the power I, for my part, am the god of justice. And speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians, in other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall, at this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontaine Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as—
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see at last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. You are a devious one, Fossalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Iudex Neuvillette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that...
But didn't you say just a moment ago that...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice. The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution.
We're going to execute it? But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I have already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. But considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility. The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility, and chance will present itself.
Take it easy.
Got
Why is there a hole-looking thingy over there? It looks really scary.
Rain outlines your fate.
Order guide you. I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Higher, hands on fire!
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple... Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but...
That power.
Hyman has an idea. From what... It's just that he gave us the impression that she was,
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. So you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's... That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk?
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master's master.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sir Taloji.
I am unfamiliar.
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous. How should I describe him then?
The Foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vetterfulnir then?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhine part of the Hexen Circle. She's open.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names in type, but I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhine.
Wait! Didn't you also mention a Visionary?
Actually, never mind that. I believe that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface, in other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should—
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! Receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
The prophecy was wrong.
The soil renewed! The Svina di Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little skyship winglet, boon or bane of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hit. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, we would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news. The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw even your well.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute.
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that Duke.
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress.
Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're just having a look.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of... Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's Drake. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as...
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbor?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be an...
Huh?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out...
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers. And...
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel. About what it was like...
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a...
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor for Navia's...
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to...
How did it go? Was it a good shot, did Paimon?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news. And also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows?
Wow, you really do.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at...
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess, too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nervi...
That's a... very...
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress... I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that...
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be...
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting.
again, huh? There's a real nostalgia.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to...
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consent.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. Miss Charlotte, do these pictures...
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jury.
Sir, please don't say things...
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just... This is my first time being...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you... Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship?
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have a...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos...
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new...
Ah, Sigewinne.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, sure. Come on, Miss Sigewinne. Over this way. Let's find a
sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the front?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but...
Other than that flying ship, I got a tad too much at...
That's why I decided to let the interview go through.
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you two...
Oh. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger...
He sure did...
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine.
Oh, actually...
What change can there be? As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone! The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. All right. Last stop, the docks. Huh? Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks
Traveler, Paimon. And Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick
a friend. I wonder which of my friends would fall for...
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please.
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to...
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our...
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized... Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful.
That's all right. We were more than happy to have...
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a...
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis...
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Neuve...
So there's some reason for...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my...
Are you going to take the gnosis back?
That is our duty as harbingers. Yes, don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take...
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met, too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own... All right, then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neuvillette's doing?
Time to act.
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neuvillette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved?
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming it. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control. Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had.
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself well. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravaged. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the...
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui harbinger doing...
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know.
Hang on a sec. Paimon, when we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude toward... We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder So regarding this specific issue, I was... In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
what's going on.
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here. I can finally catch the scent of your power. What it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons. But with something very similar. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what you...
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender on your person.
Remains? I've never heard...
According to...
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her note, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of it is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of to live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies,
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who are they?
Master never mentioned them to me. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to...
Next time, you believe...
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't...
That's what she told me.
The remains of... So that's what the...
All the same, assume...
And she said...
If she speaks the... I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did... That means that the Gnosis... I wonder...
Like being able to... No, let's not think about this. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still... Once child recovers, let's get...
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when in...
Alright. Whatever the case, it's...
Yes. All of...
But... She sacrificed her...
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishing, life flows like water. And what ultimately is the...